Halo Infinite's multiplayer has finally been shown off. There is now only 2 things that are missing from Halo Infinite's repertoire of things that I'm like looking forward to. Because today we got our full-on look at the multiplayer. A full overview of, yes, there's a few like game modes and mechanics and stuff and weapons and vehicles and shit like we haven't seen, but this was it. This was finally our look at the multiplayer. And even through it, we could see visual improvements and new customization stuff and just lots of stuff to talk about. But if it's first time here, Samurai Kibiji, what's up? Like to build a game hype. We're talking about E3. Boy, today is Capcom and Take-Two, I think. Lord. But this morning, I got to sit down, watch the Halo Infinite multiplayer overview, and boy, where do I even start? First off, can I just say that it's really nice to actually see a Halo Infinite vidoc in some way. Like, this is a straight up vidoc that we had way back in the Bungie days, having everybody in, Joe Staten as well, and just having the whole team talk about it in really nice video quality. And by the way, if you have the means to watch this in 4K, 60 frames, please do, because it just made worlds of difference to me. But it was just really cool to see this in vidoc form. And going on to the actual game itself, man, there is no boosting. I'm like watching these gameplay snippets, and I'm remembering in Halo 5 how in Halo 5 I would just kind of, there's one circumstance where 3 guys were coming up to a dude in kind of a valley. He couldn't boost away. He was just holding them off. And that's going to be a really jarring change. But the thing to kind of replace boosting and probably ground pounds is equipment, man. Equipment's a thing. You saw that in the multiplayer trailer, the first one we saw at the Xbox show, but they show it more in this one, man. Equipment is a thing. Using the grapple hook to flank people and the kind of wall shield, I forget what it's called. It's really interesting how when it gets shot, it exposes like zones that get damaged enough, so that thing could wind up being a checkerboard by the time you're through. And a new one, which is, and you should read the blog, by the way, because they have a blog that's actually explaining even a little bit more than this video did. But they have a new piece of equipment that's like a reflector or a deflector or whatever they call it. And it literally bounces a projectile or projectiles back to an opponent for a little bit. And even overshields and camo, you no longer just kind of walk over them like you did in Halo 3. You grab that stuff now. You grab it, and it is kind of an equipment that you grab overshields, and you can choose when to use it. But be careful, because if you use it, you're going to have like a second of vulnerability, which they also showed in the gameplay, and you could die before you put it on. But if you think you're about to get into an encounter, that might be a good time to use it. Slap it onto your chest, get overshields, take down that guy, grapple hook to the other side. Equipment is just changing the game, dude. Let's talk about vehicles. Freaking the Razorback is super cool. A little bit sketched out by it personally, because I like the idea of a kind of just a transport vehicle. This isn't a Warthog for offense per se, but this is purely for transport. But you also see in the back, you could stash kind of like heavy weapons or just a weapon or whatever, equipment, and objectives. He said objectives. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about that, because I feel like if anybody is driving a Razorback towards an enemy team's base and then they just get the flag and put it on the Razorback, that's going to just, everybody is like, red alert! The flag's on the Razorback, dude. Focus all your fire on that son of a bitch. Because instead of just killing the player holding the flag, now you have to make sure, take out that entire goddamn vehicle. In Big Team Battle, we heard rumors that there is Big Team Battle 2.0, and this in a sense, I'm guessing, is that, because it's no longer 8v8, it's 12v12. It's like Warzone in Halo 5. It's 12 players versus 12 players, so it's now 24 players instead of 16. Drops. There is drops in terms of how vehicles enter the map and how weapons enter. But in Big Team Battle, they wanted that to feel like an actual battle. And so they have you being notified of here's a vehicle flying in with a Pelican, and they'll be like, Scorpion inbound or whatever. And pods dropping off power weapons. That adds to the feel of it really being a big team battle. And I kind of really like that. But it's also, just like the flag thing, it might create chaos, because if you see a Pelican flying in, you'll be like, oh boy, Oh boy. I don't know, that might actually add to the chaos now that I think about it, and I'm always a fan of chaos. 343 are really going heavy with the customization in this game. It is on the reach level, if not a slightly bit further, having gloves and boots and crap. That is really cool, but something you don't see in this multiplayer overview video, which is again why I encourage you to read the blog, because the blog tells us basically it doesn't seem like there's any more red versus blue. I don't know how I feel about that. I both respect it, but also am like, that's classic though, man. What I mean by that is that they've explained they want to keep player identity with all this customization, which is insane. And I need to explain that before I get into this red versus blue thing, but you could change your freaking prosthetics. You could change your prosthetics, not just a robot arm, but different kinds of prosthetics on different parts of your body. And you could even change your body type. You could change your body type. And they have battle passes in this game, so there will be microtransactions, but none of them are random. When you buy something, it is going towards a goal. And guess what? The way they made it sound, you can't just buy that armor. You have to still work for it. It's like you put in the money to unlock a new path, a new series of challenges to unlock new gear. So it's like you're investing in the game to get more challenges and unlock new things, which I think sounds really cool. Like that, I love that idea that people can't just buy armor, they have to actually work for it no matter what. And that's cool. I think that's neat. It just adds you something to do. You're investing in something to do in the game, and you'll get the reward of your cosmetics. And because of all this cosmetic goodness, they want people to have their sense of identity, and so they are getting rid of the red versus blue situation. That's what it seems like, at least from the blog. And instead, you'll have kind of like the highlight. And a few other games have something similar. But you'll probably just be able to choose the enemy color highlight and your team friendly color highlight, in which you'll be able to tell that's an enemy, that's foe, that's friendly. Like, that's basically it. Foe, friendly, foe, friendly. I really respect that, because that does keep all the customization intact. And to be honest, whenever you go in team battles, which is the majority of the Halo game types, you really lose your identity in those. And I get it. That's what I'm saying. I totally respect and get the decision. Oh, I almost forgot to talk about AIs and like the training academy. That's really cool. If you are a completely new Halo player, which they want this Halo to be, they want everybody to play Halo. And so if you're new to the Halo franchise and are just playing the multiplayer, you haven't touched campaign, then, or even if you have touched campaign, there's an academy for you, where you can kind of build yourself up and fight against bots. Or even if you're with friends and you want to put in a bot to kind of make the team even, that's a really cool idea. I think that's really neat of an idea. Just have bots in the game, and I am crossing my fingers. If you can program bots to be in the game, then please just give us that mode where you can kind of like choose AIs to follow you in battle as you charge against, dude. I want that shit so bad. Legitimately, the only two things that I still haven't seen from Halo Infinite that I completely forgot about these, and I hope this gets you excited, because these better be at launch. I really hope they're at launch. I have a video about this with Footed Ghosts that I'll put in the cards above, but where is Firefight and where is Forge? When they talk about those two things, I have a feeling they're both going to be bonkers. They're both going to be absolutely insane, especially considering that AIs can potentially be a thing. If they put bots on the map, dude, that gives me hope that you could really make some crazy things in Forge and like script them and whatnot, and you might be able to do some crazy things in Firefight. That's all. I don't need to see more campaign. I don't need to see more multiplayer. Let's look at Firefight and Forge to the 4 months building up to Infinite. Do you think we'll see Forge Firefight anytime soon? And what was your favorite part about the multiplayer overview? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to be geek, proud, awesome, and catch you in more Game Hype.